is Friday, October 21st, and I am waiting outside the doctor's office because I just had my appointment. And this appointment has pretty much been June, July, August, September. Has been like 4 months in the making around exploring like potential surgery on my injured arm. And I always think I think there's still a lot of healing that needs to be done in terms of thinking about my rehabilitation process over the last 25 years, because I definitely got emotional kind of thinking about what I could have done. But the last couple of days I've been staying in the South Bay area, and I did record one of these videos, but I didn't end up publishing it. But on Wednesday, a lot of what I spent some time thinking about was kind of like the Clubhouse model and what made Clubhouse so successful in terms of building community and stickiness, and how do you create like new platforms that end up having that type of success. So in reflecting on it, I think it was not only was that there was kind of like an exclusive part of it where you had to be invited to join in the beginning, and they were still building out the functionality on Android, so you had to have an iPhone. And I even remember like I had certain friends go out and buy iPhones just so that they could use Clubhouse, or they would get it on their iPad or something. So that was kind of like the first, was the curation of who was on the platform. And then even though I had gotten invited in October 2020, I remember like going in once and being really overwhelmed, and then not logging in for another like 2 or 3 months afterward, almost 3 months afterward. So the second thing that happened was kind of reflecting on like the onboarding process. And what started to happen was that anyone who was new, you would host a welcome room for them. If you were a more seasoned Clubhouse member, kind of showing them how to navigate, and then you would invite your friends up to share kind of like their own best practices. And it was like embedded transfer. It was like social capital, using the social capital that you had built on Clubhouse and inviting someone else new to share in that social capital with you. So that was also a part of it that ended up bringing people back. And then I think the third thing was that I knew that no matter what time of day it was, even if I just woke up at 3 a.m. and I would go and check Clubhouse, there would be rooms happening, from people in Taiwan that, and conversations that I could still join and feel like I can contribute to. So during a period of time when all of us were in our homes, it made me feel not alone. But we also had this global shared experience of all having to be in our homes. And so now, as more people are meeting up in person and doing things outside of the home again, there's that delicate balance between how much do you come back to a space that is existing in a virtual world versus spending time in real life world. The other thing I kind of noticed was that as Clubhouse was being built, like a lot of disabled people ended up coming onto the platform and really advocating for accessibility, and the team was listening. And I think it felt really good to feel like we were being heard, but also since we were early adopters of the platform, we had an ability to make it our own as well. So that that was kind of like what I was reflecting on Wednesday, as, new different platforms that are focused on social connection and creating community and belonging are being built. How do you ensure people keep coming back? And even as we have built Diversability, we started as a club in person and then transitioned to a Facebook group that is still very active with not even that much moderation, to now moving to a membership community that exists off social media on a totally separate platform, just encouraging the behaviors to come back. And I also think that engagement happens in a lot of different ways. So we have virtual events that people can join. There's asynchronous community in posts, and then there's chat. So those are some of the things I've been thinking about in terms of community, how we actually create community and belonging. And I will probably record more on my feelings about this doctor's appointment and probably the journey that I'm going to be on for the next couple of months, maybe years. And then Thursday, I just ended up catching up on some work in the hotel. Today's a big day because we have to check out of this hotel and then move to another hotel, but the next hotel is even more of a budget hotel, so we'll see how it goes.